Top 10 predictions for 2019. Number 10. The deal will be rejected in January. Theresa May's Brexit deal seems likely to be rejected when it's voted on next week, commencing the 14th of January. The DUP will reject the Irish backstop, and so will other parties, unless Theresa May can reassure Parliament that it would only ever be temporary. It seems unlikely that May will get any legally binding reassurances from the EU over Christmas. Therefore, it's goodbye to her deal. Number 9. Parliament will push for either a no deal or no Brexit. Now, at the point of May's deal being rejected would be both an attempt to bolster preparations for a no-deal Brexit and an attempt by parliamentary Remainers to extend Article 50. Given even Brexiteers like Boris Johnson support the extending of Article 50 in an attempt to renegotiate a deal, it's more than likely the government would ask to extend Article 50. Number 8. The EU could refuse our extension request. It's not in the EU's interest to renegotiate the deal. They have bigger fish to fry in France and Italy. They would probably ask us either to leave with the agreed deal, which Parliament rejected, or leave without a deal, or completely revoke Article 50 and remain. Now, there's likely to be an amendment to the finance bill in January, ruling out a no-deal Brexit unless Parliament allows it. Number 7. The Parliamentary conundrum. If Parliament doesn't want a no deal and doesn't want May's deal, and if the EU says we can't renegotiate, that leaves only one option: to revoke Article 50 and remain. But they don't have the authority to do that since the 2016 Brexit referendum. And so would probably come either a general election with parties fighting between Brexit options or a second referendum. Number 6. The second public choice. So the second public choice seems like it's going to be a question of leaving in any way, which we find difficult because of Northern Ireland and can't do, or remaining, which we can do but makes that vote in 2016 invalid. It's more than likely that the country would vote to leave in some way, even if it meant a longer process of revoking Article 50 temporarily, renegotiating another deal, or revoking and making preparations for a no deal and leaving on no deal terms immediately when the country is ready. I still strongly believe the public want to leave, but the politicians don't, with the EU not letting us. Number 5. Soft Brexit, anyone? This leads to one conclusion: a softer Brexit that accepts being inside the customs union and single market, or one which eases the transition out of the EU to a longer, slower process many of us won't see the end of, thus ensuring the economic and political security of the UK. Number 4. The UK will be preoccupied with Brexit. This year has already seen Windrush, Novichok, and drones stop an entire airport for the day. The government simply isn't bringing in measures fast enough to deal with the changing world and threat from foreign powers. In the case of Windrush, anti-Semitism, and the stupid woman scandal, they're too preoccupied fighting amongst themselves than doing their jobs. Number 3. The special relationship will falter. So the populism of Brexit and Trump's win in 2016 came as a surprise to everyone, but both events supported each other. With a Brexit supporting American leader, Brexit meant we could get a trade deal with the US, and with a Europe hating UK, the UK could tie closer to America. That's until you look at the opinion of Trump in the UK. Firstly, the Duchess of Sussex is reported to being against him. Then there's the backlash he's gotten over his decisions to abolish the Iran nuclear agreement or separating migrant children from families. Then there was the Trump blimp that was erected when he came to visit. It shows how some of us are more closely aligned to European values than current American values. Then you have to account for Brexit. This is a deal May is trying to sell to her country and the world over to get trade deals throughout the world. On 2 occasions now, Trump has publicly criticised the deal and May's process of negotiation. British politics now is trending back towards a more liberal, globalist politics, away from the values Trump represents. We're more than likely to be stuck in a transition period or Irish backstop. and that means we will find it difficult to do those trade deals. If America keeps him in power, that might just fracture our relationship. Number 2. Corbyn. So Corbyn's had a bad year. There's no doubt about that. From the anti-Semitism scandal to the stupid woman quote he was supposed to have said. It was thought that after the election in 2017, Corbyn would be our next Prime Minister, and he could still be. But Corbyn is probably not going to be the saviour everyone wants. Firstly, Remainers hate him because he'd prefer to renegotiate a deal than offer a second referendum. Leavers hate him because he wants to hold up the negotiation process, avoid a no deal, and remain in a customs union. That probably means, should there be a general election and he wins it, he would win it by default, and we'd end up with a hung parliament. People would be looking to him, asking how dare he plunge the country into further uncertainty just to put his party in power. Number 1. May. If Corbyn's had a bad year, then May's just been May, a bloody difficult woman, and Theresa the appeaser, in times when we needed someone who was either willing to walk away without a deal, or simply be honest with the country about Brexit. Now that she's won her no confidence vote, she'll probably stay all of next year, which means more soundbites to gloss over the economic and political reality of the nation. May has promised she'll walk away before the next election, but you have to ask, what will she be walking away from? We can only guess, but do you agree with me? Join in the debate below and subscribe. And so will probably come either a general election with parties. Firstly, the Duchess of Sussex. Firstly, the Duchess of Sussex is reported to be is reported to being against him. It's reported to being against him. Then there's the backlash. It shows how some of us are Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone.